Welcome back, guys. And tonight we got a review of the Dewalt electric screwdriver. I've been wanting one of these for quite some time and I couldn't find much useful information on it. So with that said, I'm going to review it. So let's check it out. Alright guys, so before we jump into this review, we all need to keep in mind that this is just a screwdriver. As hard as that's going to be, it's a screwdriver. You're not driving in 6, 8, 10-inch flags with this thing. It's not happening. But with that said, it's a screwdriver, and I actually was not going to make a review on this because everybody has reviewed it. And with that said, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that kind of a channel where I do that kind of stuff. With that said, though, the reason why I am reviewing it is because every review I see, they'll get it, drive a couple screws in, little tiny screws, and then, start thanking sponsors, promote their company, their channel. Talk about how it's black and yellow, and then end the video. And I am beyond frustrated with that kind of review, and so I want to give you guys a much more thorough review and a more realistic review. Now with that said, in this review basically I'm going to be showing you its usable power. I'm also going to show you the finer side of things with this, and we're doing a drop test. So with that said, I kind of want to show you guys how it basically works. So on the bottom, and I never noticed this because again, reviewers, they just want to do a couple zipping some screws in the video. It does have a button you have to push, but yeah, you hit the button down and you'll hear it, and that means it's on. Then you just turn it one way or the other. So that's how it works. It's pretty simple, righty tighty, lefty loosey, pretty simple. Left hand fasteners, it's the opposite. It is very, very, very battery heavy. Keep that in mind for one of my tests. So if you do drop it, it's going to be going down pretty quickly like this. That's kind of the main things I want to mention before you guys see the actual test. So I guess with that said, let's go check it out. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have a scrap piece of wood here. I have drilled all the way down to 3 inches. And yes, I know this is not the right tool for the job. Obviously, it's not. The way I see it is what if somebody has your impact, or maybe you just don't have one near you, you don't want to go get it, and you already have that. Or what if you just don't know where it's at because somebody's borrowing it or your kid took it for something. Anyways, worst case scenario, could it do a pre-drilled 3-inch hole? It's a number 8 screw, so very normal size. I was going to go for 10, but most people aren't going to be using number 10s inside of the house, and you wouldn't use this outside. Sure you could, but I don't know. But anyways, so we're going to be drilling that. So with that said, let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm going to try my best to make this camera work somewhat decent. So here I have the 3-inch screw. I have the Dewalt. Let's put it in and see what happens. Again, I'm sorry if this video work is awful, but okay. Yeah, it put in all the way, but where it kind of shoulders out, it stopped at that shoulder. So again, it got it in, so that's definitely going to be good enough for most people. Let's see how it takes it out. Alright, so that second turn pushed it all the way in as far as it's really going to go. So let's take it out and we'll go on to the next test. There we go. Alright guys, so for this next test, what we have is, you guessed it, a light switch. I want to see on the opposite of the spectrum, delicateness. How slow can we go and how much torque can we control? If I blow this out, I'm paying for it. So with that said, let's not turn the wrong way. We'll see what happens. That's about as slow as it goes. Oh, by the way, this is a new apartment, so that was the paint. real slow. You can see it go pretty slow. Now putting it back in. And as you can see, it put it in no problems at all. So I guess with that said, let's go on to the next test. Alright guys, so for this test, going all the way to the ceiling, I'm going to do a side drop, back drop, and a front drop. Yeah, and of course I'm dropping there because I am also leaving it in there because I want to see how this chuck's going to hold up to a, oh, that's probably, I don't know if there's a standard height, but it's probably 8 feet probably. So with that said, do the first drop first, which is going to be the side test. Okay, that was the side drop test. Let's see if it works. Works fine. Now do the back test, which this battery again is removable, so, and it's also out of focus, which is even better. Okay, there's the back drop test. That looks good. And one more. This is probably going to damage something, so we're doing the front drop test. Okay, let's see where it impacted. Right there. Right there. It has left some sort of shiny residue. Let's see how it did. Oh. Ooh. It killed it. Let me see if I can take the battery out and get it working. Be back in a second. So what I did is I took the battery out, put it back in, and that has fixed it. As for feeling any sort of damages to the body, the battery is kind of loose. Switch feels fine. Body, I don't see any damages to it. Let's check the chuck. Looking at the chuck, I took this out. Everything functions properly. Yeah. Looked inside with the light. You can't see in there, but the chuck does look just fine. There's no cracks or anything like that. I'm thinking it just jarred the battery out. So, guess what that said? Let's get on to the final test. Alright guys, so for the last test, we have 2 holes that are not pre-drilled. We have that screw, and then for the bigger screw, we have one of these Torx head screws that are, quite honestly, pretty big. I don't know if it's going to put that one in or not, I'll be honest. It's pretty thick, but we're going to find out. So I guess with that said, we'll start with this one, then do this one, and I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, so starting with this one. And I locked it accidentally. There we go. Yeah, by the way, there's a trigger lock on it. I guess I bumped it. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, did that one. Let's change the bits out and we'll do this. It's a T20 head, by the way, in case if anyone cares. Okay, here we go. Oh, that was easy. Easily done it. So I guess with that said, let's get back to the counter. We'll wrap the video up. Alright guys, so to wrap the video up, what do I think of it? Well, honestly, I've actually used this a lot off camera, just doing different tests and playing with it. And honestly, I think this is a extremely capable tool to have. One thing I do want to mention now, battery life. I have not been very easy on this thing. I've been screwing in 3-inch screws. I've been screwing in multiple screws, bogging it, just thrashing it with the torque. And after all of that, I'd say 30, 40 fasteners, you know, not just your little picture screws. It still has 2 bars of battery on it. And I haven't charged it. It did take about 2 hours to charge. On the package, it does say that it takes an hour to charge. I charged it for 1 bar and it took about 2 hours, so not sure what's going on there. But I mean, as for all that I've put it through, your wrist will hurt when you do use the torque a lot, which is why they don't make this very torquey. You know, like you saw in the video, the 25 inch-pounds of torque, that's actually quite a bit. It really is. You know, something this size, you wouldn't think it would be able to do that, but it can. But battery life, I'm going to say, remember, this is a screwdriver. It's going to last you a long time if you're just doing little things. And if you need to do a bigger fastener, like you saw in the video, and you're supposed to be doing already, is pre-drill it. You're supposed to do it already. For those of you that don't know, like I said, with that 3-inch screw, I pre-drilled it, went right in. So after all said and done, for the $84 that you're going to spend on this, I think it is extremely capable, not only for the amount of power that you get, but also how easy it is to use on delicate little, situations like faceplates, for example. And just it's a Dewalt. You know, it's not going to be a Chinese, unit that goes down within the first 2 or 3 months. So the fit and finish is great. After all that I've been through, I don't have any complaints. I do want to touch base on the battery being loose. I think that's just how it is. I can't find anything damaged. I know it kind of sounded like I insinuated that it was messed up and loose. I can't find anything that was, bent or anything. So I think it was just like that. I had never really looked at it before, and it's a little bit of wiggle room, but nothing out of the ordinary. So I wouldn't be concerned about that. So with that said, that has been my review of the Dewalt electric screwdriver. If you got any questions for me, put in the comments. If you think you want me to review or try, put in the comments. With that said, thank you guys very much for watching. You have a good night.